So, Reggie Fils-Aime is retiring from Nintendo. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised to hear that news. Personally, myself anyway. The day that it was announced that he would be retiring, which, if you'll give me just a sec, I forgot to look it up myself. I wanted to make certain before I officially say something and not really know right off the back. Because I remember people talking about it and I was like, what? It was April, wasn't it? But yeah, April will be the month that he will be dropping his title as President of Nintendo of America. Which is kind of a weird title to say, President of Nintendo of America. Anyway, point is, he will be leaving his position. Now, I can't really say much because of the fact that technically I'm not a major Nintendo fan, but I am very familiar with Reggie Fils-Aime. I am very familiar with him. I mean, who doesn't know who he is? I'm sure if you mention the name, people are like, that name sounds familiar. He's the guy from Nintendo. Oh yeah, the guy who says my body's ready and stuff like that. Anyone that doesn't really pay attention to it, recognize the name Reggie Fils-Aime. Basically, he's just as much as of an icon as Shigeru Miyamoto. And it's kind of funny, you know, whenever people talk about Nintendo, you know, there were 3 icons, and it wasn't until, like, you know, about 4 or 5 years ago. I hope I pronounced the name right. Itaruwa was the one that people mentioned the most of. He was basically the president of Nintendo. Again, I'm a casual fan of Nintendo, so I'm familiar with Nintendo itself. And Shigeru Miyamoto is like the main one that I know the most, you know, being that creator of Mario. And then Reggie Fils-Aime being that of the most recognizable, being that of My Body is Ready whenever the Nintendo Wii came out and stuff like that. Itawa is like the most recent one that I was familiar with, and then when I heard his passing, you know, I felt kind of, you know, I felt disappointed because of the fact that technically, you know, we're talking about the president of Nintendo, you know. It's like, what's going to happen, you know, who's going to take over? And I'm sure the guy who's taking over Nintendo right now is doing a great job, but Reggie Fils-Aime is a little bit different. As a lot of people who do video game news and stuff like that have talked about, they said that Reggie Fils-Aime may be the president of Nintendo of America, but he is the president for the America side of things of Nintendo, which means he can't make the say-so that Japan usually does. He doesn't say what games comes into America or what doesn't, because Japan's going to do whatever they want to do. He more or less is a representative for Nintendo of America. You know, anytime there's a convention that Nintendo is being hosted, Reggie Fils-Aime is guaranteed to show up. And, you know, we've been so familiar with Reggie Fils-Aime being there all the time, it just makes sense that he would be there. And it's weird, you know. Itawa was like the first one to go, he passed away. And now Reggie Fils-Aime, which technically he's being retired, he said that he's leaving in good health and good spirits, so that's good to know. He still have a long-lasting life. Turns out he has quite the job record, actually. He has a really good job record. I'm like, wow, maybe that's why he's retiring. He worked his life, really, and he made his money's worth, and now he's like, you know what, I made enough money to just retire now. And it's like, yeah, makes sense. Compared to most people, they would work until they get like billions of dollars. He's survives, I imagine, as president of Nintendo of America, he's got quite a paycheck, really. And I imagine he's right now in the millions. And so he's like, you know what, I'm satisfied with what I got, I can retire. And I think that's nice to know that he's a casual person. He prefers to live with his family and friends and stuff like that, and he enjoys doing the stuff that he loves to do. So that's good to know that him retiring in good spirits. And that's good to know, because most of the time when we hear anybody either leaving a company or quitting a company and stuff like that, is usually on bad terms. And it has been for like the past couple of years, actually. I'm sure you've noticed. But this time around, Reggie Fils-Aime is leaving Nintendo in good spirits. So in other words, it's been a good career for him working at Nintendo. And, you know, I'm sure a lot of people are disappointed because of the fact that with Reggie gone, that means Nintendo memes are not going to be as functional. I wouldn't say that. Have you seen who's going to be the next president? His name is Doug Bowser. Here's his picture right here. Doug Bowser is the new president of Nintendo of America. Or, PNA. PNA. That's kind of hard to say. PNA. Ugh. That's weird. I'm trying to make an abbreviation, but it's not working very well. President of Nintendo of America. Anyway, point is, he's going to be taking over Reggie Fils-Aimé in April. His name says it all. Doug Bowser. As a lot of people say, we have a villain taking over the American side of Nintendo. That's weird. Not as weird as you think, but considering his last name is Bowser, I think we're still going to get some memes anyway. We're going to get a long line of memes alongside Reggie's legacy that he has left for us and stuff. So, Reggie Fils-Aimé, I hope you have a wonderful retirement, and I hope you enjoy your life. And as for Doug Bowser, congratulations on your new position, and I'm hoping to hear some more memes coming out in the future because your last name says it all. But, you know, it's gonna be weird, you know, seeing a new face of Nintendo show up during E3. Because you think about it, we're so used to seeing Reggie instead of anybody else, and now that we're going to see someone else completely different, it's gonna be weird, you know, for a good while, you know. It's gonna be like the first year, it's gonna be weird seeing Doug Bowser being there on Nintendo Direct or any type of news involving Nintendo and stuff like that. But it is going to be interesting to see what's going to happen from here on out. Anyway, I just felt like I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about the situation. And it's kind of weird too, because like I said, I was talking about the 3. And to me, whenever I think about it, I thought to myself, that's basically the Triforce of Nintendo. Nintendo is a Triforce itself. You know, Itawa, Reggie, and then Miyamoto himself. And now that the 2 are gone, it's just Shigeru Miyamoto now. Which, record, I'm sure he's not alone. I'm sure he has like a good size a team with him to help make games and stuff like that. It's just, he's like the most recognizable now of Nintendo. And so it will be a while before other people who work at Nintendo get recognized at a higher rate. Because you think about it, Itawa has left a legacy. Reggie Fils-Aimé has left a legacy, and now Shigeru Miyamoto is all that's left, and his legacy is still continuing on. In fact, I'm pretty sure that he's probably going to keep working at Nintendo until he dies. And even if he dies, he's probably going to turn himself into a cyborg, so that we can keep making video games and stuff like that. Because, I don't know, that just seems like the type of person he is. He just, you know, you find people, very rarely, but you find people that love their job so much that they are infused with it. And if they had their choice of dying and moving on to the next promised land versus transforming into a complete robot, they turn into a complete robot to where they can continue doing the stuff they love to do. I think that's probably what would happen. But anyway, though, I'll go ahead and leave the video off. Let me know in the comments below, what are your thoughts on Reggie Fils-Aimé leaving Nintendo? What are your entire thoughts entirely? I didn't really give a good feedback when it comes to Nintendo, but again, keep in mind, I'm not a hardcore Nintendo fan like my brother Delmar is, and some of his friends and our friends and stuff like that are. I'm more of a casual fan of Nintendo, but I still recognize Nintendo as being a prominent company, and Reggie Fils-Aimé is the most recognizable person of Nintendo, so it's kind of hard not to talk about him and give him my thoughts and opinions. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.